How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Now I know the royal family saying, True Royal, what the hell do this sister have to do with the earthquake in Puerto Rico? Some know, some don't. Lisa Cabrera had to inform me what was going on, because I don't watch this mess. But I went and digged for it. So, let's go over here real quick. Let's see here. So some folks back in December 8th was feeling some kind of way, especially the Puerto Ricans. Miss Universe response show racism isn't just for white people, that our country's colorism is no longer a secret between us is a great thing because it forces us to confront our own ugliness. It's not racism. You're a bigot. That's what you is. When you have a dislike, a strong dislike for another race. And I'm going to come back to this in a bit. So True Royal is a bigot. All right. I've always known it. And I don't give a damn when people exercise racism on the royal family. And there are others out there that they don't have a whole bunch of power, so they can't actually exercise their isms on us fully. So you're more so than a bigot. But anyway, as we continue on, I'll get back there. So, there have been multiple earthquakes, they are saying, that have hit Puerto Rico. Yes, there have been earthquakes, but then there is aftershocks, and aftershocks is what wigs you out. I live in earthquake country. I know exactly what I'm talking about. I think the strongest I probably ever felt is a 7. Yeah, it'll scare you. But them aftershocks don't make you want to be in no building. You don't know where to be, but you definitely don't want to be in no building. It's just this rumble in your stomach, and you can have hundreds of aftershocks, and they can be any type of magnitude, my royal family. So, but I have something key to say about folks having core hate for the royal family. So let's go on this journey.
Already rattled residents in Puerto Rico jolted by another earthquake just a short time ago. It was a magnitude 5.9 quake that struck on the island's southern shore. It follows a series of aftershocks 4 days after that magnitude 6.4 hit in the same area. NBC's Nicole Acevedo is joining me now about this. Nicole, it's got to be pretty frightening for folks. What about damage? Do you have reports of extensive damage, or what do you know about it?
Yeah, so we have to remind ourselves that the damage that we're seeing in Puerto Rico right now, it's cumulative. People in Puerto Rico have been feeling tremblers since December 28th. The biggest one yet happened on Tuesday, which was the one that you mentioned, and it was the biggest earthquake the Puerto Rican people have seen in a century. So that caused many homes to collapse, hundreds of homes to collapse, schools, streets to just rupture, and the island has not stopped shaking. At least over 120 aftershocks have been reported, and just in the last 12 hours when people were sleeping, they were reported that aftershocks were happening every single hour until the newest one, the 5.9 earthquake that happened this morning. So we've seen videos of people near an outdoor shelter that had to run away from a landslide. We've seen more streets being ruptured. We're seeing historical buildings crumbling. So there's new damage, but there's also cumulative damage because the island has not stopped moving since.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Nicole, as we've been talking, we've been showing power lines, which brings this to mind. Certainly after the hurricane, it took Puerto Rico's main power plant a good year or so to get back fully online, and now it may have to go offline for further repairs. I mean, what can you tell us about the power situation now? How many don't have power on the island or may have to go without it going forward?
So the earthquake on Tuesday triggered a blackout, an island-wide blackout. that was mostly restored. However, the southern part of the island is so affected that the power plant there that contributes about a quarter of the power that the island needs, that one is gonna be shut down. So it's officials were saying that it would take a year to repair. So what they're doing is that they're essentially maxing out their other power plants in terms of capacity of producing energy. And officials are also asking for generators, emergency generators, to help basically make up for the loss.
Oof. Okay. Nicole Acevedo, thank you so much. Really
All
super
right.
time here in Puerto Rico.
So we got an update. Just to let y'all know, let me cut this
Heated
off.
rhetoric certainly getting even.
Okay, let me cut this off. That news was given yesterday because I know y'all seen the 7th up there. So True Royal do what True Royal do. Y'all know I got a construction background, so I got a clue. All right, I know what's going on. I'm a certified welder, and I've had to mess around with electricity, and I don't like messing with electricity. Trust and believe. I stay away from that mess, but I know what's going on. So I found a really good in-depth video about their power issue. Now let's not lose sight. Hurricanes been whooping their ass too. And then y'all over there hating on a sister. Y'all need to get y'all priorities together. All right? We all got something to work on. I got something to work on too. I admitted mine. I've always been like this. But I think I have a right to be like this when I see the tyranny that continues to come down on the royal family. Oops, not this. Let's play this joker. What's wrong with you? You trying to act up? Let's see what we got here. No, man, no. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to publish it. Okay. That was on me. All right. Okay. This is a little over 4 minutes. It's more in depth. See what's going on as far as the power source is concerned.
Only on CBS this morning, our lead national correspondent David Begnaud was allowed inside a crucial power plant in Puerto Rico that was severely damaged by this week's earthquakes. The power situation on the island is critical following a 6.4 magnitude earthquake Tuesday. 600,000 customers do have power at the moment, but around 900,000 people, about a third of the population, are still in the dark. David Begnaud is live outside the plant in Guayanilla along the southern coast. David, how did you manage to get inside?
Well, Anthony, we came and sat outside the plant for 4.5 hours yesterday, waiting for the head of the power authority to leave. And as he drove out this gate, I asked for an interview, and he said yes. And when the interview was over, I asked him to go inside and actually see the damage. He said yes to both of them. And it was important because the people of Puerto Rico do not trust the folks who run the power authority. That is the truth. You're not only about to see the damage and hear what they told us, you're going to hear two different stories between the man who runs the power authority and the man who runs the plant, who are in disagreement about when they're going to get this plant back up and running.
You can see that most of the structure is compromised.
Our guide was Angel Perez, operations manager here at Costa Sur. He showed us the damage, starting with these tanks, which are used to clean water. It is, he says, the first step in the energy generation process. You can see this tank just knocked over, and it did it all the way down the line?
Yes, sir.
So again, without this, you can't provide power.
We cannot even think to provide power to anybody.
From here, Perez says the water is sent to even larger tanks, which have also been damaged.
There is a fracture in the metal, okay, in the base of the tank.
Just this morning, we were invited back inside the plant. They wanted to show us the control room. You can see the damage inside. It's not safe for people to work here. They also gave us photos of a damaged turbine. The reality is, with Costa Sur not generating any energy, hundreds of thousands of people will be without power. What's the reality? Do you think people are going to have to sort of get used to having power maybe half the day and not having it the other half?
We're going to work 24 hours around the clock.
I hear you. And a lot of people are happy to hear that. But be as realistic with me as possible.
No less than a month.
Compare that to what the head of Puerto Rico's Electric Power Authority says. Jose Ortiz is CEO.
The facility will be out for probably over a year.
How much of this is earthquake related, or how much is it just old equipment that hasn't been cared for and updated?
It's both, really. You know, to be honest, those plants have over 60 years, basically. Imagine you have a taxi 60 years old and you are required to run that 24/7. So, you know, that's the kind of business we're running.
When folks here in Puerto Rico heard Jose Ortiz say it could take a year to get Costa Sur back up and running, there was a trending hashtag on Twitter, Jose Ortiz renuncia. People calling for him to resign. Listen, this is what he told me. He said they're asking FEMA to bring in a 500 megawatt generator to go ahead and get this place back up and running. When FEMA heard him say that in our interview, Gail, they reached out to me and said, we have not agreed to do that, and we cannot do that under the current emergency declaration that Puerto Rico is operating under. They need a major disaster declaration, and as of now, the governor has not requested it, and the president has not signed it.
Wow, David, first, bravo to you. Very interesting information that you have. And you're literally standing outside and asked to come in, and they say, okay, come in. That's amazing.
They did. And again, this morning, they came back to us and said, come back in. We want to show you some more. So we wanted the people here on the island to see exactly what the damage is.
All right, David Begnaud, thank you. Great reporting as always.
So, my radio family, that is terrible. What is going down in Puerto Rico, and now they're dealing with some power issues again, because let's not lose sight of the earthquakes. Now, when I was speaking on racism and being a bigot and all of that, I'm not one of these people that sit up and wish and hope and pray. You got to realize some people pray for your demise. I don't have that in me. I don't have that in me. I just don't. But anybody that project that evilness, and y'all know what I'm talking about, my royal family, well, then I feel some kind of way too. And I have a dislike for you too. I would be lying to myself, and our Father knows my heart. But our Father knows that I don't have the type of heart that lay up, in my psyche with pure evil. No, I don't have that. But if you want to label me a bigot, then that's what I am. So as we continue on. So let's get a little deeper. And this was on the 10th. How earthquake recovery is progressing in Puerto Rico's second biggest city. Very important. I like NPR News.
More than 2 years after Hurricane Maria, Puerto Rico begins another recovery process. A 6.4 magnitude earthquake struck the island this week, and much of Puerto Rico lost electricity and water.
The damage was particularly bad in the south, where many buildings have either collapsed or are in danger of falling down.
We have to reconstruct cities in all those places in the south that are completely destroyed. For example, there is no school in Guanica because the high school and the middle school disappeared. It fell down.
That's Maita Melendez. She's the mayor of the neighboring city of Ponce, Puerto Rico's second largest city. When I spoke with her, she had just wrapped up a meeting with FEMA. Both the federal government and Puerto Rico had been widely criticized for their response to Hurricane Maria. I asked Mayor Melendez how this time was different.
I have to tell you that, for example, FEMA came 3 weeks after the Hurricane Maria to Ponce. I saw the governor 3 weeks after the hurricane. The governor just right now, the new governor of Puerto Rico, Wanda Vasquez Garcet, since the first day she has been meeting here in the cities that were affected.
So you feel as though you're seeing a faster reaction, you're seeing more support?
The faster reaction, for example, the last community I have that received power was 1 year after Maria. Now my city has almost 57 to 60% with electricity, with power. And we have more than 88% of water. But the movements continue. They continue. We're worried there are many persons that stay in public parkings that are open. Nobody wants to be inside a house.
Let me
inside.
understand this. So, even though you have been able to bring electricity and water back online, you have people who are afraid to stay in their homes. Does that mean they're
That's one
afraid
the
of
things
staying in shelters as well?
Yes, at the same time, for example, we have a big shelter, and people doesn't like to be inside. They would like to be in the plaza, outside, and they take their beds and they move it to the area that is an open space.
Can I ask about public health concerns? Right now, what are your worries when it comes to people given their living situations?
The Department of Health comes every day in the shelter. There's no problem. There are many groups, voluntary organizations who have been coming every day. One of the services is emotional services, psychologists, social workers, psychiatrists, to talk to them. At the same time, there are artists who came during the day, music, the churches at the same time. But people are afraid. So we have to talk to them, give them security, and that they feel we are caring about their needs. And that's important.
Is this particularly difficult after the long struggle that's been the recovery from Hurricane Maria?
Oh, yeah, sure. Sure. Many people get suicide after Maria. Many people were worried about the money. There were no communications, there no water. And our work is to secure the people. And I'm worried about the people. I'm worried about my city because I love my city. I love the beauty of my city. So it's important to us to recover from this incidents and at the same time from Maria.
Mayor Melendez, thank you so much for your time, and we're all thinking of you here.
Thank you very much.
That's Maita Melendez, Mayor of Ponce, Puerto Rico.
All right.
And now,
so we heard from the actual mayor, and we heard conflicting stories. So people at the power plants, they got a difference. Then the mayor, he got to lie because they want some help. They're not going to get no help. Even Obama over there begging for them to help them. They're not going to help Puerto Rico anymore. And all of us, and thyself, if we is spewing other people's demise or hatred or whatever we feel about a person, should try to reserve it to the best of our ability. Nature will take its course on people that do wrong to people. But I'm seeing more and more to have utter hatred towards people who ain't did nothing to you. Leave that alone. Focus on the people that's been fucking over your lives and rubbing it in your face. And this woman ain't bothered y'all, but y'all wanted to spew that. So I just wanted to say that. So, back over to, let me see. So you can see some of the damage here. And it ain't no joke. They're not going to invest money back in this country. So what we are going to start to see, my royal family, we're going to start seeing these little getaway spaces that the tourists like to go to not be a money magnet anymore. And they have used those people. That's why I don't understand why they would, have utter hatred from our own folks, because we ain't did nothing to you. And then what's crazy is it's a whole bunch of people over there her color. But that shows you how the world has been tainted and destroyed by Esau globally. This is a global thing, even though we live here in America and we talk about what goes down in America and stuff. That is how that venom just goes around the globe. And we can all get caught up in it too. That we can get caught up in it, I'm not going to sit up here and front. We all got something we got to work on. But I'm not going to smile up in a person's face who have utter hatred and literally pray for my folks' demise. I take absolutely no joy in seeing people in this condition. I really don't. Look at this woman. There's some people in my family her color and darker. Damn. You know, we need to focus on what need to be focused on. The divine hand gonna take care of all of this stuff. You know, and y'all putting y'all energy on the wrong folks. You know, when you see stuff like this, you know, people done lost their jobs. You know, now look at that. It's a beautiful piece of land, but dangerous. You can see something so beautiful be so dangerous. And look at this. And we ain't heard Trump say one damn word. And in that interview, FEMA ain't moving. So as far as I can see, FEMA ain't came over and did a damn thing for these people. And that's a damn shame. Because innocent people get caught up into people's utter hatred for folks. And see, they scaffolding for bodies. That's all that is when you dress like that. And it just ain't enough. But more earthquakes, more storms, you know, because they have to deal with the hurricane season. And it's a business decision at the end of the day. As cruel as it is, it's a business decision at the end of the day. And they're not going to want to be dealing with this. Okay? Let's not lose sight of this. All right? Let's not lose sight of that. That happened, 2 years ago? Okay? We're not going to lose sight of that. And we've seen the other destruction that has happened over in the Caribbean and all them places. And I have a feeling that those places are going to continue to get hit. As beautiful as it is, something can seem so beautiful. So beautiful. And we see destruction on that magnitude. And these people have been exploited. And these people have been used, and they are confused, and they redirect their energy towards the dark ones, like they always do. And it makes absolutely no damn sense. That's where I'm coming from, my royal family. I don't sit up and gloat and say, good for your ass, because that could happen to my people. And I'm very mindful of that. So I do have enough within me, because it's some of our folks over there that are genuine, that I will keep them in my prayers. But stop hating on somebody who ain't did nothing to you. So anyway, my royal family, render your voice with your beautiful divine words. And as always, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.